What is going on, boys, and welcome to another weekly recap. This week's actually kind of important for all of you newer traders because for me personally, I was break even, and then took a loss on Friday, meaning that was my first week loss in a long ass time since I quit my job back in November, and the loss was only about $570. So it's not a big loss. I'm honestly totally happy with how I traded this week, or this past week. So coming into this new week, though, I'm going to be taking on a lot more risk, and I'm going to show you exactly why and exactly how I'm going to be doing that and implementing that into my trading just by using my journal, just by using my data. So let's hop right into it, and I kind of wanted to show you guys all of the trades that I took coming into the week, obviously. So I'm trying to breeze through this one because it's a lot of break evens and then only one loss, no wins, right? So it was like a very boring week overall. But I want to point something out that I saw constantly happening in this specific week. Even the previous week, I had a lot of break evens, and it's the same thing. So I'm going to be making a small tweak to my trading this upcoming week, and we're going to see what the data behind those are. I might take a lot more losses, or I might, drop that win rate, but overall, I just want to gather data, and gathering data in trading is so fucking important because if this little tweak that I make ends up screwing me over, then I'm just going to change it back to how I was trading before, right? So it's not like completely changing my strategy, but it's changing specific things and what I'm doing in specific trades. Okay, so first and foremost, this is Monday. All right, so I remember all these trades. I'll just walk through them with you guys. So overall, what I see here, right? We come down, we take out low resistance liquidity. We have a little bit of chop here, but overall, I wanted to wait for this inverse fair value gap. This was on the higher time frame. This is not a 1 minute inverse fair value gap, so don't think it was. It was higher time frame, right? So it was like 2 or 5 minute. Then once we inverse, I ended up entering off of that. Then my stop loss originally was down here, right below here. These are intraday accounts, so I started trailing my stop loss heavy, right? Then overall, we did end up going break even, hitting break even. I actually only lost $70 here because I took out here rather than keeping my stop loss here. Because what happens for intraday accounts? Intraday takes out, you get trailed based off of what the highest peak of unrealized profit was. So I actually lost way less just taking out here than if I were to end up going break even, take out break even, right? Because I would have been up about 300. So I would have been down 300 if I took out at break even, where here I just took out at minus 70. So I'm still considering this a break even because I was just trailing my stop loss because these were trailing accounts. Obviously ended up blowing these trailing accounts on purpose, right? This exact week because I just hate trailing accounts and I'm just moving over to daily loss accounts, or end of day accounts. So that's what I did there. Obviously, I didn't consider that one a loss. That was a break even. Okay, so next day, right? This is another really solid trade, but we get caught in chop after we enter, and it's unfortunate as shit, right? Overall, we see a draw on liquidity. We come down, take out this draw on liquidity. Where are we also? We are in a high time frame fair value gap, okay? So I'm waiting for this 1 minute inverse, okay? This 1 minute inverse is also proving that we're reacting off this 30 minute. We're reacting off this low resistance. We're reacting off of a high time frame fair value gap. Guys, this is a perfect trade. We come through, inverse fair value gap, boom, take that shit up to the most recent highs. Break even were the 1 minute highs, right? And then overall, what ended up happening was we came up, hit break even, went back break even, never hit stop loss, ended up hitting TP. I'm not mad about this break even whatsoever. I think it was a really solid break even, and we just got caught in chop halfway through the trade, and this would have been a super long trade for no reason. So honestly, I would have way rather went break even like I did than holding for 2 hours to get my full TP when it's like a 1-to-1. Fuck that shit. So there's that. Okay. Here is the next trade, which this is going to be Thursday. Pretty much same thing happens, right? But this is a really solid trade that ends up also hitting TP later on, right? So we have low resistance draws on liquidity down here. We come out, take out those low resistance, make new low resistance, take out those low resistance. The only sketchy part is we have resting liquidity sitting down here. So what am I going to wait for? Instead of entering off of a 1 minute, this is going to be a very algorithmic trade taking it off this inverse because you have fair value gaps to the upside, right? You have a 5 minute, you have a 2 minute. So just taking it off of this, yes, it's a better entry, but what happens if we react off this in reverse? You get absolutely creamed, right? So I waited for this 5 minutes to get inversed, 5 minute inverse right there. So I ended up taking that right there. Break even was at the 1 minute fair value gap. Obviously came up, tap into that break even, came back down and stopped me out at break even. Okay. So that was another break even trade. Okay, here was my loss. First trade of the day. This is going to be a very, very algorithmic trade as well, but I was fully aware of it. And I fully just said, fuck it, I'm just going to take this trade because all week we've been seeing 1 minute inverses just get ran through and not really give a fuck about the higher time frame fair value gaps in terms of 5 minutes, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, whatever, right? But here, I saw this 5 minute, which also was a 1 minute. Okay, so basically, I see that we're making higher highs and higher lows. So I'm like, okay, maybe if we're gonna want to inverse this 1 minute, we might want to just keep pumping up, right? Because maybe if I wait for this 5 minute, we're just gonna get fucked and we're just gonna run a TP before I can get an entry, right? We've been seeing that all week. So I said, fuck it. I know this is a little bit riskier, but I'm gonna take this trade. And yes, it was a little bit more algorithmic because we had draws on liquidity to the downside and big ones that needed to get hit on the higher time frames, right? Coming into Friday, we were breaking to the downside on the daily time frame. So the only real play was shorts at the end of the day. But I just wanted to see price come back up into this 30-minute fair value gap, also take out low resistance here to then start to make our overall move to the downside. But that's just not what we wanted to do. I jumped the gun on the 1 minute instead of waiting for the 5 minute. Now, here's the part that pissed me off. Okay, I entered on this 1 minute. And I'm like, okay, this 5 minute is closing soon. And then like 2 minutes. So if this 5 minute closes above, we're good as fuck, right? But if it doesn't close above, we had a 2 minute and a 1 minute right here. So if this got inversed, this would have been perfect shorts. So I was telling my Discord, link in bio also, I was telling my free Discord that holy shit, if we inverse this 2 minute, I'm just going to reverse my position. As you could tell, we just dumped, right? I had no chance to actually reverse my position because these would have been textbook ass shorts with this inverse right here, right? Because we take out low resistance draws. We're failing to come up here. We inverse a 2 minute, and then we have draws on liquidity to the downside, right? It was literally perfect for shorts. So I was saying that, then obviously we got ran through. But the worst part about it, okay, this 5 minute was 10 seconds away, and it was up here. 10 seconds away from closing. And I'm like, holy shit, if we close above, I'm going to be so confident on this trade. 10 seconds left. This candle's formed and we just fucking dump with 10 seconds. We're holding this fair value gap so well, and then boom, the 5 minute closes below, and then it ends up closing inside the 5 minute. I was like, fuck, I'm screwed now. There's no way this is playing out. So absolutely brutal. It is what it is. I knew it was a riskier trade, and I still took it. Can't really bitch, right? Now here are shorts again that I took that are really solid as well. So overall, what I saw is price was coming up and tapping into this 5 minute. Okay, so I had a student actually take this trade here. Okay, so we tap into this 5 minute, we have a 1 minute inverse. He took it off this 1 minute inverse. The reason I didn't do that is because I wanted to see this 5 minute get tapped into more, right? This is a huge 5 minute fair value gap. I'm expecting at least 50% of this fair value gap to get tapped before actually seeing a move, right? And sometimes, yes, you see, a huge fair value gap get barely tapped into, and then we actually reverse in the opposite direction. But for extra confirmation, don't go looking at the 1 minute inverse, right? Go look for the 4 minute, the 5 minute inverse. And if there is one, and then we inverse that, then take it. You need that extra confirmation when we're barely tapping into a fair value gap, right? But when we clearly are tapping a lot further into it, now we're taking out low resistance, and then now we have a 4 minute forming here. 4 minute gets inverse. I take that down to the 30 minute. Overall, break even was going to be these lows. And then we came down, tapped that low perfectly, ended up going break even. And yeah, this ended up also hitting TP, right? When I took the screenshot, it was right here, but it ended up actually hitting TP. It came up like to here and then fully reversed and took out draws on liquidity and went even lower. So yeah, now I want to talk about what I'm going to be making changes to this upcoming week, right? So I'm going to go a lot more risky on my stop losses. And by risky, I mean a lot tighter, okay? So for example, we had a 4 minute inverse here. So instead of having stop loss above highs, I'm just going to go stop loss above that 4 minute inverse, right? And target that break even level. That's going to be more than a 1-to-1 and it would have hit, right? Let's go to another trade from this week, right? Obviously this one you couldn't have really done shit, but overall I could have went stop loss below this 2 minute inverse, right? Because either way I would have gotten stopped out anyways, right? And it would have been a lot better of a risk to reward. Okay, so that's another one. Okay, so here, what the fuck? See how low my stop loss is? If I'm entering off of this and just going stop loss below the 5 minute, that's well enough, and that's like over a 1-to-2, right? So that's another example. Okay, what happens here? Here, kind of the same thing, but this one probably wouldn't have worked because of this consolidation. So when I'm doing this, you really need a lot more confirmation that price is going to chop. But overall, here, for example, if I was taking this trade, stop loss would be below this 1 minute, and you would have gotten wicked out in that chop. But overall, it would have hit break even anyways, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, then let's go look at this one. This one obviously would have hit TP. Also went through there, so this one would have been a little bit tougher. I feel like the only way this would really work is going below the lows here, because you don't want to go below this 1 minute inverse, or this 2 minute, 3 minute inverse, because it's way too tight. It's way too tight, and it makes no sense to just go stop loss there, because then you're just so fully expecting price to just deliver right away and not pull back. So in this specific scenario, it's a lot better to go stop loss below here. But I'm going to be going a lot tighter of stop losses coming into this week, because I've been seeing that, holy shit, my stop losses aren't even getting close. Every time I take a win, stop losses aren't even close to getting hit, right? So I can literally just make that small tweak and make a lot more money, because it's a lot higher risk to reward, and my stop losses aren't even getting close to getting hit on all of these trades, obviously, unless we actually are wrong on the bias, right? So like here would have ended up hitting if I just went below that 4 minute and just went down into here, right? The thing is, would you go break even at these lows, or would you let this one run without a break even? Because otherwise you would have gotten south break even before TP was hit. So that's one thing I'm going to be implementing into this next week. We'll see how that ends up turning out. But, I've been seeing it a lot. I can even show you my next. Let's see this break even here. Right, so this break even obviously would have gotten hit. This was still a really solid break even, though. And there's really nowhere else to put this stop loss up here at, because you'd go below here. So yeah, this was actually a really solid stop loss, solid break even trade. Hold on, I just want to show you guys another example. This one just ran against me. Oh, I'm break even there. Okay. Hold on, give me a sec. All right, whatever. But yeah, I see it a lot where, my stop loss can be a lot more tighter in specific things. Plus, it lets me be able to get a lot more risk to reward, and gives me more data on that, because I've been super conservative with my stop losses. So you guys will see next week how this ends up turning out. But yeah, starting there, going to be a little bit more risky, and just make it make sense. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope these videos help you a lot. Comment down below if you have any questions. Also, free live trading Discord is in the bio in the description as well. So appreciate you guys so much for the support. I've been gaining a lot of support recently, and I've just been pumping out YouTube videos for you guys. So I appreciate you guys. Stay smooth and good luck this week. I will talk to you guys next week.